Hello, everybody. I'm Judge Jeanine Pirro, along with Jessica Tarloff, Jesse Waters, Katie Pavlich, and Greg Gutfeld in... It's not corduroy. What is it?
It's a pilled shirt.
Ah, it's 5 o'clock in New York City, and this is The Five. It is going to be a nail-biter. The latest head-to-head matchup from the New York Times shows a dead heat. An even 48-48 split between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Both candidates out in Texas today and ramping up the trash talk.
Kamala is here in Texas to rub shoulders with woke celebrities. Isn't that exciting?
The comment that Donald Trump made about America being the trash can of the world, he really belittles our country.
Worst of all, Kamala refuses to stop importing these killers into our country.
America deserves better.
And even though things are neck and neck, one campaign is privately in freakout mode. According to Axios, Democrat insiders are already worrying that Harris has blown it. And some are even pointing their finger at Joe Biden if Kamala loses. Check this out.
She's in her 92nd day in the campaign. This is more like a European snap election than anything else. And so this is her big challenge. If she loses, it'll be in part because she wasn't the nominee in time to really grow. But she's got a succinct message.
And if this doesn't sound like Hillary 2016 all over again, Kamala is rolling out the red carpet for celebrities to headline her closing rallies. Beyonce will reportedly hit the stage at a Harris event in Houston later tonight. That's after Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Springsteen brought out their star power to a Georgia rally. Watch.
I'm Bruce Springsteen, and I am here today to support Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. Donald Trump is running to be an American tyrant. He does not understand this country, its history, or what it means to be deeply American.
We've heard her favorite curse word is a favorite of mine, too. But I ain't gonna say that word. But I don't know about you, but that's the kind of president I can stand behind.
Katie, I'm going to go to you first. You know, we just heard Jim Messina saying that as a candidate, Kamala Harris didn't have enough time to grow as a candidate. Now, isn't being the understudy for 3 years and 10 months of the President of the United States enough time to grow into the race?
You could argue that if the race were longer, she would be in an even worse shape because as time goes on and the more she has to do publicly, the worse her poll numbers get and the more independents are going over to the Trump campaign. And what did they expect? I mean, they had an option to do an open convention, to have tried and true candidates who maybe have won elections before, not just the U.S. Senate, but maybe gone through a primary process and lost, but who have been tested. And they decided not to do that. They decided to get behind Kamala Harris, assuming that she would win. Joe Biden pushed against it and was forced out. And now they're going to blame Biden for not getting out sooner. I mean, you have Barack Obama saying that maybe Biden was a better choice at this point. And so I think that if she were on the campaign longer, she would have some problems. But things are certainly not moving in the direction they want them to, and they are literally running out of time.
You know, Jesse, the majority of uncommitted voters are apparently between the ages of 18 and 34. You think dragging out Samuel L. Jackson or Bruce Springsteen are going to appeal to them?
No. The McDonald's visit affected more people than any of that. They said, I think 37% of young Americans who saw that visit now are leaning towards Trump. I was at my mother's house this morning, Judge Jeanine, and my dad opened his phone while my mom was making me scrambled eggs. Aww. And he goes, oh, Jesse, look at this. Axios says nervous Democrats fear that Kamala is blowing it. And I looked at my mother, and I could have been a jerk, but I'm not a jerk. I'm a good sport, and I'm a kind son. I'm a compassionate American. And I just said, Could I have my eggs, please?
First.
I didn't rub it in. I'm not trying to brag. You look at these polls, Trump has tied Judge Jeanine. This is the first time he's ever been tied going into a race like this. He was down big with Hillary, down big with Biden. On television, I say the race is tight. Because when you have a tied national poll with Donald Trump, on television, I say the race is tight. I say other things to my friends. Not to my mother, but my friends. This is funny that they're blaming Joe Biden for not getting out earlier. How about just blaming Joe Biden for the last 4 years? People don't want to vote Democrat because it's been a mess. The border's wide open. People's pocketbooks are getting smashed. It has nothing to do with the coup and the timing of it. That should have happened in a normal primary process. Then maybe we could have a regular candidate instead of Kamala Harris, who's not ready, never was ready. So if you bring out Beyonce, I don't even think she's coming in. You want to know why? They told us she was going to come in at the DNC, and Roy Cooper showed up, the governor of North Carolina. So I think Roy's going to show tonight in Texas.
You know, Jessica, they spent $1 billion on this campaign. They tried joy, and then they tried the threat to democracy, and then they decided, well, we'll put her out more in the media. And still, Donald Trump is chipping away. Is it a bad campaign, or is she a bad candidate?
Well, get back to me on November 5th, and I'll tell you what actually happened.
Well, there's people in your party who are
I know,
apparently
you always
freaking
say they
out.
did. We freak out every election. We're true to form. Democrats are anxious. We are nervous. Our sheets are soiled, not in the actual gross way, but in the sweating it out because this is so tight. The New York Times Siena poll, people were waiting for it. It's an A+ poll. There were nuggets of good news in it, though. So 15% are undecided, and she has a 10-point advantage with them. In the Emerson poll, she's up 60 to 36 on that. The Harvard Youth poll came out. You talk about the youngins and the McDonald's photo op. She has a bigger lead with young voters than Biden did, 60 to 32. The Marist early voter data looks good. I went in a time machine, I guess, while you were visiting your mom. So I went back to 2012. And I looked at the Real Clear Politics average on election day, not even 11 days out. And Obama was only up 0.7, which really didn't jive with how I was feeling about the election. Mitt Romney, the most sexist man that ever lived, if I recall correctly, had this huge surge at the end that made a lot of people like Jesse feel confident. And then Obama ended up winning by 3.9 points. Now, I don't know if that's what's going to happen. But we have seen a jump ball that ended up going in the Democrats' direction. And one of the theories about what's going on with Trump is that he is certainly getting more support, but that it's inefficient vote. So he's doing really well in Florida, better than he needs to, in California, better than he needs to, in New York. States that he's not going to end up winning in California and New York, but that he's not putting together the coalition that he needs in the swing states for it. We'll see if that pans out. That would be the best route for the Democrats if we're going to win this. But we never assumed that we were going to win. That's the thing.
All right, Greg, wrap it up. Where does the jump ball go?
Well, first of all, uncommitted voters need to be committed. How can you not know? I mean, it's like you're not sure whether you should get a kiss on the cheek or a slap in the face. No offense, Doug Emhoff. But Democrats should freak out because if they lose, it is, according to them, the end of the world. I mean, it's over. I mean, Trump's a tyrant, Hitler, you name it, we'll talk about it. If they're lucky, their early prediction that the Earth was going to end in the late 20s will maybe come earlier.
I'm hoping for that.
Yeah, you're hoping. See, and I want to piggyback on what you said about she wasn't the nominee long enough. Well, whose fault is that?
Right.
You all knew that Joe Biden's brain was French toast, and you hid it from America. You treated his senility like Bigfoot. You know, the sightings were hoaxes, and the video evidence were deep fakes. You could have had the 25th Amendment. You should have had the 25th Amendment, you know, and then maybe you might have had a good candidate. But instead, you're stuck with this pretender in a pantsuit. And, you know, it's your fault. And you're right, 3.5 years, it's more than enough time to learn. But she wasn't learning, man. She chose wine over work. As for the celeb power, this is after, you know, the Beetlejuice star Michael Keaton calls Trump supporters naive and easily persuadable. Well, what's more easily persuadable than a voter whose decisions are influenced by pop culture? That's actually more insulting to your voter that you think trotting out Beyonce will get them to put a ring on it. Maybe if the Democrats think your vote can be swayed by a celebrity, they don't think of you much at all.
All right.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.